You're listening to the True North Success Podcast. Real stories of personal, professional, and financial wins from Alberta's best. With your hosts, Gary Ma and Amy Kim.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Today, my special guest is Mimi Godin, brings over 15 years of experience in the dental industry with a strong track record of building meaningful relationships and optimizing operations and elevating customer engagement. A thoughtful and organized leader, Mimi has designed and launched scalable programs and growth initiatives across more than 500 dental practices in Canada, always focusing on the balance between the business objectives and patient customer first culture. Mimi has become a trusted voice in creating stronger and more effective dental practice environments. It's a real pleasure to have her on the show today. Welcome, Mimi.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So, Mimi, I gave a quick overview of your success. Can you fill in the detail of what your business is all about and who are your main clients and how long you've been doing this for?
Excellent. So, as you mentioned, I've been in the dental industry for 15 years. At the start of my career, I started as a dental hygienist. And so I did that for about 10 years, working more clinically and different roles within the practice as well to get more exposure to the different areas of patient care in dental practices across the country. About 5 years ago, I moved into more of the kind of business side of the industry, if you will. I'm now working for a dental service organization. So it's really a network of dental practices within Canada. We have almost 600 practices to date, and my current role is leading the clinical development function, which really means that I'm leading a team of fellow dental hygienists. And our main goal within the organization is really to work with our practices, get to know the teams, understand their workflows, and support them with their systems, with their patient care, and everything that they're doing at the practice.
Awesome. So there's a lot of competitions in the dental industries. What do you feel really sets you apart, and what comes naturally to you that maybe others find challenging?
I think for me, it's always been natural to sort of look at different opportunities for learning within the dental industry. So I'm always someone that's kind of looking around me as well, open to sort of unconventional ideas with my career path. And I think for me, when I look back, that's something that really gave me exposure to different parts of the dental practice, whether it was clinical, administrative, understanding the small business side in a dental practice as well. So taking on those different roles and getting all that different experience I think it was natural to me, and it really led to giving me a great idea of everything that happens in a practice. So when I moved into a role where I'm now looking at 600 practices, that was a huge transformation as well. But I did have that sort of foundational understanding of the whole workflow and operations in a practice, that I could look at understanding how does that scale into a larger group practice. With our group, I think there's a lot that differentiates, well, I mean, across really different organizations of dental practices. There's differences in the operating model. So within our group, we're really looking at kind of honoring every practice for their unique culture, their unique team, and the differences that happen at the practice level, and looking at how can we support all of our practices, but still take into account that they're all a bit different. And so I think that's a big differentiator.
Awesome. Yes. And I would like to learn more about your background. How did you get into that industry? I know you
Well,
start with
originally,
hygienic, but yes.
yeah, originally choosing dental was actually, it was one of those decisions way back in high school where you kind of have to choose something. And I always admire people who can kind of know what they want to do at that young of an age. For me, I had such great experiences in my childhood with my dental hygienist, so it kind of seemed like a natural fit. And then within, my experience as a dental hygienist and then looking at different roles within the practice, I felt like I wanted to have even more impact than I could have, with my sort of 8 patients a day in my hygiene role. So I started looking at, okay, can I lead the hygiene team within a practice? Can I understand what's happening in the dentist chair? And eventually I took on a role managing a dental practice so that I could understand really I guess, the business side of it, the functional side of it, the operations, and all of those pieces. And after that role, I ended up moving into sales. So then I was overseeing a portfolio of dental practices from a very different perspective. And that's when I ended up moving into the role that I'm in now with a different company, no longer in sales, but now supporting a network of dental practices. So it was a little bit, I wouldn't say it was a linear career path at all, but just trying out different things and seeing what fit and seeing what I was most passionate about and interested in.
hmm You know what? Sometimes when we go to different path, and it actually helps more because now you have not only thinking like a dentist or dental practice, but because of all the experiences you had in your past, it will come together and then helping look at from the different perspectives as well. So I find that your story is very inspiring. So what is the one of the biggest challenges you had to overcome in your career?
I think when I think back, it's the challenge of moving into the more corporate side of dentistry. I think we see in other industries that there are, consolidations and groups of, maybe it's a physio group or something with veterinarians where they're coming together into a group. So we've been seeing that happen, but it's still fairly new in the dental world. So when I moved into the company that I'm with now, it was a big learning curve to understand, what are the benefits to the practice? What are the challenges that come with this type of an ownership model? How does it change the day to day? And then how can you really have an impact in such a big system on each practitioner's day to day or on the patient care that's happening in the practices? So I think a big challenge was really learning shifting your mindset, I guess, from the single practice approach where it's essentially like a little small business into this sort of larger network and really being able to harness the benefits of that and actually launch programs that work and that benefit the practices.
Awesome. Could you tell us a little bit more about like what we can expect from that help with that programs that you're helping with other clinics?
Yeah, so I mean, what we're working on is really trying to understand across the industry, across our network, what are the needs of the different practices? What are sort of the industry best practices? So, how do you do sort of the best patient care in the dental space? And then where's the gap? Which of our practices are struggling? So, we'll often find common trends that are across all of our practices. And what we're looking for with our programs is really a realistic way to get from A to B. So building out, maybe it's frameworks, something that's customizable, resources, or team member training. And within my team, we have team members who are able to be out in the field, go out into the practices, get to know the team, meet them, and then help them understand where are the gaps in the workflow, where are the pieces that they could do better. And it varies for every practice, but really the gold standard and the goal that we're trying to achieve is the same.
hmm So like what are those like main common you see the gaps that you were able to help them and then that reduce the gaps and then improve their business?
So for us, we find there are challenges with um, timing and scheduling. So looking at the hygiene department, every patient might need a different amount of treatment or a different amount of time, but maybe the practice's protocols is to schedule them all for the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
there's inefficiencies there that we can actually look at and educate on and then potentially drive change within so that they're really ending up with a much more productive schedule that also benefits the patient as well because some patients need longer appointments, some shorter. So you want to be able to honor the patient care while driving efficiency, productivity. That's probably going to end up driving engagement and more comfortable, competent clinicians in the practice as well.
Awesome. So, like, what I'm listening from your story, that you are very good at like thinking out of box and also very resilient. Like when you do once and then like, oh, this is not a fail. Like you're just like, oh, what can I do better and what industry I can do, get into and learn more. So was there any some like special the events or any books or the way that you grow up that motivates you become more like positive and do more things?
I think for me, it's always been a focus on, I guess, people and community and wanting to feel like I'm contributing to something larger than myself. So that's really what ends up driving me is, you can have impact with single patients when you're a hygienist. And then if you're leading a practice, you're able to impact all of the hygienists who are seeing patients. And so it's, almost like a natural next step to go to really like an enterprise-wide programmatic approach where the impact is different, but it's spread more broadly and you're able to support more clinicians and therefore more patients.
Right. Okay. So then would you like to share some tips that anyone listening to our show that wanted to get into that dental industry, maybe helping with the the narrowing the gaps between the clinic and actual practical. What would be some good tips that would you like to share with them?
I think something that's important to consider is that um, dental practices are still a business, so you want to be able to sort of balance the business growth with the patient care, and that's something that you want to be comfortable with, better understand, do your research on, and see how you contribute to it. That can sometimes be a missing link between clinicians and then the business owner. I think listening to others, talking to different people, always reaching out and understanding what's working in other people's career paths, what opportunities exist to try different things. And just taking a look and see, like, is this something that has really interest you? I know for clinicians in inside and outside of our network that are in, maybe in my sphere, um, they want to know about moving out of that clinical practice and into other areas within the industry. So, as someone that's worked in more of the corporate side, and then there's also the kind of sales side, there's consulting, there's a lot of different career paths out there for people in the dental industry that maybe didn't exist or weren't as available 15, 20 years ago. So it's important to really, I think, look outside the box, see what's out there, and really talk to others and get to know what's working in other spaces.
Right on. So since you've been helping with a lot of clinics and you understand, you have a pretty good understanding and knowledge of those workflows and systems as even you work as a hygienic person in the past, right? It's not just to selling the product. So as any clinics that are looking into getting some help to that reduce their gaps in their practice and business, and they're looking for some help what they should consider, what the program would be good for them. So what are those things they need to consider before they make a decision, do you think?
Yeah, I think with considering partnering with a network of dental practices, that can be a sort of a huge decision point for typically dentists who are the owner of the general dental practices. And I think you want to think about, what are the complexities that you're facing today? There's a lot of change that's happening within the dental industry. There could be regulation change, there can be AI coming into the space. So there's a lot of sort of complexity, change, adaptability that's required. And so if you're comfortable leading all of that and leading your team through that, fantastic. And if that's something that you think you could benefit from joining a network and having the power of sort of everyone working together and being supported in that way, that could become a part of the decision as well. It's not just simply, are you ready to, potentially sell your business and retire, but are you ready even to have support to get to the next level and continue working as a dentist? And what can that mean for your team and what types of benefits might be available?
Awesome, great. I love your all the insightful information. So it sounds like, things are going very well with you and your business. And, a lot of medical professionals are looking toward the future and, looking at how they can create a, real past monthly cash flow, especially within the condition these days that uncertainties in economy and the inflations. So a lot of people looking into like enhance their, replace their current active income. What are your thoughts about this?
I think it's interesting. I think it maybe can feel a little bit limiting inside of the dental industry because it is healthcare, it's regulated, there's regulated professionals involved. But again, I think the industry is shifting. The way that we are supporting practices is shifting. We've got new technology, new workflows, new systems that can come in. So if you're someone that has that system mindset, I think that there's a lot of room out there for being sort of a thought leader, being someone that can bring the knowledge forward, offering a different training opportunity to practices or consulting through this type of a change is much needed. I know it's something that all of our practices benefit from, but we make up just a small percentage of the overall Canadian dental industry. So there are lots of practices that could benefit from that type of support.
Yeah, I love that story. Okay, so as wrapping up our interview, what exciting plans or initiatives do you have in the work for the next 6 to 12 months?
So at within my company, we're really looking at dental hygiene as sort of the growth driver of the practice. So we're starting to understand how can we support our dental hygiene departments, not just from, okay, how productive are you with your patients? What are your patient care workflows? But also, what's the reason why you would want to join the network and stay within the network? And what are the engagement pieces that you might be looking for? How can we support clinicians with ergonomics, even with dental? It can be a really tough on your body. It's a tough career that way. So, wellness, what can we look at there? How can we offer those things to our clinicians so that they're really seeing the benefit of the network? And I think that those things are important across the industry as well. It's using the right tools, having the right equipment, setting yourself up for the most success that you can. So bringing that awareness, I think, is one of our key pieces. And I think all of that ultimately leads to growth within the business, growth within the hygiene departments. You're going to have happier team members that are wanting to stay and have different opportunities within the practice.
Great, very exciting plans. So,
Mhm.
okay, Mimi, so thank you so much for your time today and sharing some of your great insights and tips with us. Do you have any other last comments you want to share with our audience?
I don't think so. I think I would look forward to hearing from any of your audience members. If there's any further questions, I'm very open. I'd love to connect. I think that there's a lot of change coming within the dental industry, and I also think that a lot of the learnings from the dental industry could apply across most of the healthcare parts of the industry as well. So it would be interesting to, see what else is going on in different spots as well.
Awesome. So if people wanted to connect with you, how they can get hold of you, Mimi?
I am on LinkedIn, so you can definitely look me up there, and I'm pretty active there, and I'm happy to take messages.
Awesome. So it was a great pleasure to have you on the show today, Mimi, and thank you so much for today.
Want to share your success story? Apply to be a guest at truenorthsuccessshow.com/guest. We'd love to hear from you.